Hey there. Whether you think we're in a recession or a depression, however you look at it, the job market is not in a good state right now. People are getting laid off left and right. I mean, thousands at a time. Employers are telling people that the people they're laying off are underperforming. People are getting let go via FedEx mail, and companies that you thought you might be at for a long time, maybe even retire from there, they're saying, nope, you gotta go. So there's obviously a lot of conditions and a lot of areas for people to be anxious, to be nervous, to be depressed about this job market. So today I want to talk about an article and studies from MarketWatch. And they have an article called Layoff Anxiety Survey. 7 in 10 workers are bracing for job cuts. Let's dive in. The article says, as headlines about job cuts flood American newsfeed, 70% of workers are taking steps to prepare for layoffs, according to a new survey from the MarketWatch Guides team. As of June, companies had cut about 386,000 jobs in 2024. Although that total is slightly lower than it was this time last year, employees remain tense. According to our survey, 40% of workers say they're saving more of their income in case they're laid off. The increasing popularity of AI technology has only added to feelings of job insecurity, as 68% of workers believe AI will cause an increase in unemployment. Another explanation for heightened job insecurity, 2/3 of workers overestimate the current unemployment rate of 4.1%. In fact, 55% of workers believe unemployment is higher than it was 4 years ago, when the unemployment rate was 11% amid pandemic-era cutbacks. The MarketWatch Guides team surveyed 1,000 adult workers, excluding those who are self-employed, about the threat of potential layoffs. Here's how those respondents said they cope with job insecurity, as well as tips from experts on dealing with layoffs. So this is an article that I can definitely get behind, because you really can't trust the official numbers, and that's what you and I talk about all the time. So the fact that they're saying there's only a 4% unemployment rate is completely false, because the reality is they're not counting anyone unless they're on unemployment and they're going through all the motions of trying to apply for a new job. And I think you have to be on the unemployment radar for a few months. I mean, there's a lot of conditions to even appear on the unemployment number charts. Plus, it's not counting people who are underemployed. A lot of people who are getting jobs right now, if they are getting just one single full-time job, they are not getting paid what they used to. I know when I'm applying for jobs, in order to even get a call back, I'm having to take a 20-30% cut in pay from where I was in 2022. So that's not good. Plus, there's a lot of people who are working multiple jobs. With the rise of gig work during the pandemic, a lot of people have to go and actually work multiple jobs. And whether it's gig work or other part-time jobs, I mean, things are really, really bad right now. So if they were just to somehow count unemployment as people who do not have jobs that they should have, who are getting underpaid, who have to work multiple jobs, then yeah, it might be above 11%, because that's what it feels like. 88% of Gen Z employees are taking steps to prepare for layoffs. Among all generations in the workforce, our survey found Gen Z employees born from 1997 to 2012 feel the most pressure. Nearly 3 in 5 Gen Z workers, 57%, reported anxiety about layoffs, and 88% are taking steps to prepare for layoffs. In fact, 1 out of every 6 Gen Z workers, 16%, fully or mostly suspect they will be laid off at the end of 2024. Their millennial peers, born from 1981 to 1996, trail closely behind with 42%, reporting layoff anxiety. If we zoom out to all generations, more than 1/3 of American workers, 36%, feel layoff anxiety. And even if you've been able to survive layoffs, which unfortunately not a lot of people can say anymore, who have been in the job market nonstop for the past 3 years where layoffs are rampant, you've got to feel nervous about your job when you see everyone around you struggling, people around you, like I said, thousands at a time getting let go. I mean, yeah, that's really traumatic. I mean, it's bad for the people who lose their job, absolutely. But yeah, it's a traumatic experience for people who have to sit around and never know when they're going to be on the chopping block next. Taking steps to prepare for a potential layoff, however, can reduce a worker's anxiety, according to Jeanette M. Bennett, PhD, an associate professor of psychology at UNC Charlotte. Restoring one's sense of control and worth through strategies like job searching, positive reframing, stress management, and open communication with employers becomes critical for an employee's comprehensive well-being, Bennett said. 68% of workers believe AI will cause more unemployment. As layoffs continue in 2024, the rise of AI technology also contributes to workers' fears. More than 2/3 of workers, 68%, believe AI technology will lead to more unemployment, according to our survey. 2 in 5 would run out of money within a month if laid off. Many workers believe their savings won't last long if they lose their job. Our survey found that if laid off today, 24% of workers would run out of money within 2 weeks, based on their current spending habits. Another 2 in 5, 40%, reported they would run out of money within a month. Even if workers deliberately decrease their spending, more than half, 53%, would still run out of money within 3 months. Nearly 1/3, 31%, said they would take out a personal loan to afford living expenses during their job search. Nine in 10 workers, 89%, said a layoff would negatively impact their finances in some way, with the most common consequences being contributing less to savings, 38%. And 1/3, 33%, said they struggle to afford basic necessities amid their newfound financial stress. 63% of workers would take a pay cut to keep their jobs. With rampant fears of job insecurity, more than 9 in 10 workers, 93%, said they're willing to make sacrifices to keep their roles in the events of mass layoffs, according to our survey. Nearly 2/3, 63%, said they would take a pay cut. Some workers, 37%, would forego their seniority and accept a demotion if it meant keeping their job during mass layoffs. A little more than half, 51%, would accept additional responsibilities without extra compensation, and 42% would move to a new city to work in a different branch. Gen Z respondents were the most willing to relocate, 61%, compared to just 21% of baby boomers. Among those who always work from home, 51% say they would give up their remote work privileges to stay on board. So we're just talking about terrible times. I mean, you shouldn't have to make these kind of sacrifices to keep your job, where you're going to take a pay cut, take a demotion, take on additional responsibilities. I mean, these companies have plenty enough money. They prove it by all the money that the CEOs are making. They prove it by the ability to have extra money to pay out dividends to stockholders. And I get it, organizations are in business to make money, right? Most of them are not run like nonprofits, but dang, have some kind of empathy, some kind of compassion. If someone's there and they're working hard for you, giving you their level best, you should honor that, respect that. Not make them work more hours, take demotions, adjust their living and working environments. It's just, companies are not doing the right thing, and I can see how people are anxious, even with jobs. You really feel like nobody is safe, and that's an awful way to live. Making ends meet is hard enough in this economy with how expensive everything is and with inflation, how it's a big deal if a fast food restaurant has a $5 value meal. I mean, it's just really, really hard times, and I don't see how you could say that we're not in at least a recession. But the fact that people are anxious, that they're willing to literally bend over backwards for their employers, just shows the times that we're in. And I really hope that this time doesn't last forever, that we're maybe a few months away from things turning around, because I don't see how the average American can continue to live like this for much longer. Talk to you later.